Hi, welcome back to Aspiring Gearhead. And yeah, I know I'm wearing the same shirt for my intro video, but these shirts are really comfortable, so leave me alone. Anyway, so my last video actually did pretty okay, at least by my standards. I don't really know how it would go for anyone else, but it did bring up something I didn't really think about when I was coming up with the channel and doing the work. And that is really planning things out. Honestly, I completely forgot about uh, that bend in my frame until I actually started replacing the excuse me, the wheel well splash guard. So in order to avoid more instances like that where I suddenly go, oh, yeah, I should have dealt with that before. What I'm going to do is take a bit of time and really go over both cars in detail, come up with some kind of list of what I'm dealing with, even down to the little stuff. So, and so that might be a minute before I do my next thing. Also, I figured it gives me time to make sure I do all the under the hood checks, see what kind of tools I might need right off the top, stuff like that, and it'll give me a chance to plan accordingly. In the meantime, I can tell you about certain aspirations I have with the channel. Um, Pretty much what that aspiration is to get one or two more cars. So basically, the cars I want to get are a stick shift and a project car. I want to get a stick shift car because I'm 30 and I don't know how to drive stick, so it's time to learn. It's time. Anyway, so I figure I honestly I can never remember who drives a stick, I mean, as far as friends, coworkers, whatever. So I'll just find a really cheap but functional stick shift for myself, and I also that means I can practice whenever. And then for project car, not gonna lie, kind of been inspired by some of the people who I watch on YouTube who ended up inspiring me to make the channel in the first place, let alone dig into an entire car. I'd say the big ones would be do with Dan and his Camaro, Broken Sylvia Skyline, Goon Squad when they did the GTR, and even when they went big and did the Lamborghini Huracan, and even probably the most recent one now would be Sarah Entombed, and her work with Mr. Dose, which is my favorite of them. I want to get to the point where I can, pull up some car. It'd be great if it ran, but even if it doesn't, I could get into that and eventually build it up to the point where it runs again, and I get that feeling of where I really dug into it and put a little piece of myself into the car. And eventually I could even get up to the point where I could start throwing in the really fun tuning things like another YouTuber I've started watching, I think, in the last year or so, which was Woman Driven. So now the reason I say one or two is because it would be great and cheaper for me to get a stick shift car that ran, but chances are the ones that run are going to be more expensive, and that'll make it hard to fit within my budget. Which, who the hell am I kidding? I don't have a budget. I literally just decided to start this channel one day. I'm recording this on my phone because I don't have a camcorder or anything like that. So it would be easier for me to get this done and get it done in a shorter time frame if I keep things on the cheaper side. So I imagine a car that doesn't run would be cheaper, but that means I can't practice driving stick. Meanwhile, on the aspect of dealing with the project car, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impatient. I've got all the major aspirations of project cars I would love to work on. I'd love to bring back a Skyline. I'd love to bring back an NSX. I'd love to find some really beat up Lamborghini and bring it back. But of course, unlike Goon Squad, I'd probably be looking for the Veneno instead. But like I said, those are going to be expensive. So just getting them alone is going to cost me a bunch of money, let alone having to go through all the time and effort and money to find the parts to fix or replace them and get them back up to running speed. So right now I'm trying to see if I can find that particular balance between a car I like and a car that's a stick. That way I can get them done in one, but if it turns out I just kind of have to pick a car that I don't really like all that much, but I can practice with a bunch of the time, that'd be great. And then I imagine if I can get it running, or if anything goes on with the other cars or they get into good shape, I can sell it and I can come up with the project car, which for all I know could end up sitting in my garage for a few weeks or months, maybe even years, depending on how good I get with this. And then I can eventually bring that back over time. So right now is the point where I got to do some research. Like I said, I can pretty much just track down some car I don't like and find it quick and easy, but I'd rather find something that I find interesting, something I can grow into. Based off what my mechanic and my aunt told me, auctions and maybe even a few car yards, auto, whatever you call them, will be right up my alley as far as fitting within a budget. So I'm gonna look into those and see what I can do. And then I imagine for the project cars, the really big ones I want to do, I have no idea. Who knows? I may end up going across the state lines or something. But we'll see. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and do that research. And I'm going to swing back to my Elantra and the Lexus after I've done a bit of preliminary preliminary assessments to see what needs to be worked on and then what I can work on first. I'll probably start out slow, a couple quick little things just like the wheel well splash guard, and then really build into stuff like getting into it with the engine, getting under the car, things like that. So stay tuned. I'll have more content for you soon.